despite its size, this only weighs in at 6,600 pounds. This is a big Cherokee 274 bunkhouse here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And I think I actually might have sold this one when it was brand new. I know I definitely had my name on a couple of them. I used to do some kind of part-time sales here at Haylett RV, and then just as we got to be so large, I had to move more into like just pure video tours and marketing like I do now, and it's still more than a full-time job. This is very interesting. The Cherokee brands are super popular today. One of the very most popular trailers out there, period, and threatening to become the single most. This is a dual entry door with a direct bath entry door and 2 single bunks, but a unique not unique 7-foot tall ceiling, but a unique combination of a 7-foot tall ceiling and a super slide power bunk that gives you sleeping for 8 in this thing, despite only 2 single bunks. Kind of different, kind of cool. Let's take a look. What's great here is with the slide out closed, you have easy full access to the RV. If you need to get in here, you need to get it packed up, you need to take a break on the road, hit the bathroom, whatever it is, this thing can do everything in travel mode, full travel mode accessibility. Then she opens up, and man, this thing has a big open feel. Now, again, there's a couple factors that are contributing to that. The first of which is, again, the bigger 7-foot tall ceiling. And then these giant windows right here in the slide. They certainly don't hurt matters. And it gives it such a big, expansive look and feel to it. Now, right away, you're probably noticing these interesting sort of black things on the sides of the slide outs. These are a set of snap-on sort of storage pockets right here. And it's neat that they're extra storage, but their primary purpose is they actually hide what is technically a slide-out mechanism, but it is the mechanism for this overhead power bunk right here. Now, this is something you can technically still get in Cherokee RVs today, but you don't see dealers do it because these old Cherokees, again, were so much taller. They had taller slide-outs that even with the extra 6 inches for the power bunk right here, it still had a full normal slide height. So we still had the full slide furniture and those big windows. But what's cool about this thing, when we drop it down, we just gain a ton of extra sleeping and function space. And voila! We'd go from 2 individual bunks to having, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 separate individual sleeping spaces, with the front master bed counting for a double sleeper. And so this is an easy 8 individual bed sleeper, and that is not counting the U-dinette as 2. And that's what's kind of cool about this thing. And you can see you've got these big 40-inch extension drawers below the entirety of those side U-dinette benches. So getting to that storage, whether everything's in the sleeper position like you see it right here, or, you know, whether someone's sitting at the dinette, is super simple and easy. Now, there's a couple key cool things going on here. What's kind of interesting, if you take a look, is the window treatments are actually mounted on the bottom of the slide out. So that, or, well, the slide, because it's a slide mechanism of the bottom of the drop-down power bunk here. Now, this is a long horizontal expanse, so that's why there's a center support bar there to be able to help support the extra weight. And looking at this thing, it sure doesn't look like this was used a lot. Now, there's a couple alternative uses you can do. Obviously, the intention was bunks and sleeping capacity here, but you could easily pop these out and convert it into something of like a extra storage drawer that's under lock and key. And we actually had a number of people, back when this was first brand new, buy these with the idea of using it as some sort of gun or fishing pole safe, because it is, again, under lock and key where it's not easily accessible. And that's a hard thing to do, is to find a good secure place for things like fishing equipment and firearms in transit. The other cool thing is, obviously, we can pull those shades down to gain sleeping privacy here. And then to make sure the kids don't accidentally play Crush My Brother, you've got this little tension rod right here where this will hit the ceiling, and it will cause the slide mechanism to amp out. When the slide out receives like a resistance, it will amp the motor out and cut the motor out. So if the kids do hit the button, it'll hit the stud up here in the framework of the slide out and kill the power on that, so that, you know, nobody gets crushed. And that's just one of these crazy, weird contraptions that Cherokee was able to accomplish back when this was the 7-foot tall, what I like to call Cherokee XL generation. I'll laugh if they end up coming out with a new trailer called Cherokee XL after watching this in a couple years. So back in more of a daytime mode here, one of the classic things these Cherokees used to do, I'm not a big fan of pedestal tables because I need a little more room to scoot around the benches. And that's kind of what's cool, is they actually built a sort of sliding tabletop right here. It's a little tricky to do with just my left hand, but you get the idea. If you need to cheat the table over a little bit to get around, you can do that here. So you kind of gain some of the main function of a free-floating table and chairs arrangement, but with the storage and the sleeping of the bunk arrangement there. This kitchen... This kitchen is not hurting for storage. We will circle back to that as well, because that's not all of the storage that I want us to be able to see here. I do want to take a quick minute to come back here and look at the bathroom. Remember, it is direct bath entry. But notice that we have a nice big extra tall shower, not the short little travel trailer tub. We also have a nicer, bigger sink over here in the corner with a nice corner vanity, well, large corner vanity. Above everything, we've got the larger Max Air vent fan up here for some superior airflow, and a nicer porcelain foot flush stool for, you know, user ease and convenience. Now, over here in the main bunk quarters, allow me to close this bathroom door, because the camper is so darn tall, you've got significant amounts of more space. Actually, you've got about 6 inches more space per bunk than a common bunkhouse, which is absolutely fantastic. The top bunk is pretty tall. You might have to have a big kid sleep up here, or you might have to help a kid up there. But remember, you've also got all kinds of storage space over here. Now, all the original electronics are still present and accounted for. We're going to see in just a second all the original manuals, but as promised, this thing has a lot of storage to bring to the table. So starting up top, the extra tall ceiling allows them to throw shelving in the overhead cabinetry to double the overhead cabinet storage. And again, all the original user manuals and everything are present and accounted for. This has an extended living space, and that allowed them to also extend the kitchen space accordingly. So some campers, you'll see the extra cabinet and countertop space below at the loss of the kitchen pantry. But you don't see that here. We have and, not or. And I think most people would agree that a 7-foot tall pantry plus 2 extra drawers plus an extra chunk of countertop, plus an extra overhead cabinet is better than or. Now, one of the cool parts about a wood skeleton travel trailer, it's very easy to install power outlets in the sidewalls, so you've got very easy kitchen appliance access on this one. The previous owners added their own sink covers right there that they fit together in sort of like a yin and yang sort of fashion. That is a pull-out sprayer type faucet as well. And you've got 5 big plywood drawers right here in this kitchen alone. Plus, as we come up to the entertainment center, you see almost like the dinette drawers, we've got another of these pull-out mega drawers for the storage under the bed. So you don't have to lift the bed to get to this storage. Now again, original electronics and everything all present. That's a CD stereo, not yet Bluetooth. The TV can actually dismount and move in several different areas. Now up here, this is a Camp Queen bed that it is in it currently. You do have room, however, to add a true queen, and, the mattress isn't going to, like, bend and buckle. Now, you see those funky little straps and those handles, and what are those? This is a heated mattress, if you are so inclined. So you might just consider putting some, extra foam below it to kind of, soften the blow, as it were, because I will be the first to tell you, those old Forest River, well, not just Forest River, any new RV blue wafer bed, I call it the blue wafer of death for a reason. Now, this bedroom, though simple, feels huge, because you have such a big headboard area with the extra height that you can sit straight up. I could basically sit on my knees in this bed even at my height and never hit my head on that overhead cabinet. It's fantastic that way. Overall, the inside, outside care, cleanliness, upkeep, maintenance on this looks pretty fantastic. I see no sign of decal peel or fading. The awning is been cleaned. I can see where they've done a little proactive maintenance on some roof seals up top. This is what a used RV is supposed to look like. So you've got storage below your sleeping components, and remember that you do have that big storage drawer under the entertainment center that goes mostly under the bed. Now, this was built during a generation where you saw a couple of things, like there were some of these little gadgets, like these little battery-powered leveling indicators, and then this combination entry pad here for your door. Unfortunately, they were sold to Cherokee as a package. It's not something Cherokee chose. So things like the power awning, the power tongue jacks, the Sherlock sort of toy lock right there to keep the bikes and everything in place. That stuff was sold to Cherokee as a package from a supplier, and on paper, all it said was leveling indicator, you know, digital leveling indicators, and keyless entry door pads. So they're like, oh, sweet. And then it shows up, and it was unfortunately the dollar cheapest thing the world had ever seen. Generally speaking, anything you're going to use every day in this camper is fine. Like, obviously, that power bed works fine. The power jack, the power awning, all that. What I'm getting at is those leveling indicators specifically, and that keyless door pad specifically. I actually recommend planning on those not working, just from experience. And if they do work, fantastic! But I'd rather set a good expectation. Now, you might have noticed that sort of boxy shelf behind the sofa. That's what this is right here. It actually has an outside storage compartment on the back of the sofa. That's kind of classic Forest River camping right there that they still do in a lot of their brands. Now, below those two single bunks, you've got a big, I don't know, sort of like coffin size storage space. I guess that's not the most most attractive sounding phrasing, but I do think it's an effective comparison right there. Lock that down before I forget. I like all your hookups back here in one corner, including that outside shower, and we've got a 200-pound rated cargo rack on the back that does have a bike rack post if you want to chain some bikes to it, although it doesn't look like anyone ever did. One of the things I can almost always tell if somebody's hauled bikes on a camper is somewhere the rear wall has been dented. It's one of those CSI for camper things I've learned to look for over the years, and I don't see that happening here, so I don't think they really use that rear cargo rack a whole heck of a lot. It looks like it's pretty much stayed in one place the whole time. What is neat, though, is the main entry door in this always had that bigger folding entry handle. And it looks like when these folks purchased it here at Haylett RV, they also had us add one of those to the rear direct entry bathroom door. So, you know, easy come and go no matter what door it is, and they both have triple steps here. And some real heavy-duty looking wheels on this sucker. Those are not the standard wheels. Somebody replaced those wheels aftermarket. Hey. Good for you guys, because that's one of those things that if you want to replace wheels on a camper, awesome. It's not one of those things you're generally going to get a lot of money back out of, though. So, all in all, pretty happy with what I see here. That TV that's inside can quick release and mount outdoors. And like if you're playing the stereo or a DVD or something inside, it will actually mirror through both the outside speakers and the entertainment via the hookups down here. Only thing, if I'm going to be picky, only thing I'm seeing is that it looks like the plastic holdback to hold the entry door open must have got popped or ripped at some point, and that's an easy fix. If that's the only thing this thing needs for you to take this camper home at Haylett RV, guys, I'm not a betting man, but that's a surefire recipe for the fact that we could make that happen. So, hitching, pieces, parts, RV trades, truck trades, trailer trades, whatever, financing, hitching, package deals with vehicles or whatever you need. We do it all at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.